I believe, and from what I've learned throughout all the years, it's best to use all-purpose for your first coat. There could be a lot of different dilemma, but this is the old school way that I've learned from high-end professionals that were really, really good. Use the Fibofuse, which is supposed to be 70% stronger. So when I put 2 layers, so theoretically, it's 140% stronger than paper tape. So that's gotta be one of the best ways. Didn't get tear apart on this. Any drywall repair is all the same. You get the loose stuff off, you see if you can glue it, if you can, if you can't, screw it off, and then pre-fill. Normally drywall doesn't crack like this. Structural, maybe, you know, you rarely see them at an angle. All we could do is cut it out, screw it off, and throw it. Once you break that paper, you gotta put another one in. Tape and mud, all-purpose tape and mud. I don't tape and coat with Durabond. That's not the old school way. I'm gonna try to do it in 2 coats. The Fibofuse, I like this because it does have the mesh in it. Don't use mesh tape. Throw mesh tape away. Mesh tape isn't good for anything but maybe behind tile. Tape and mud over the tape. Tape it, then coat the tape and mud and fan it out with the +3. If one's good, two's better. I got my trusty 14-inch knife. To the +3, I'm gonna mix whatever all-purpose I have in my pan. I poured some water in the box and just mixed it up a little bit. And 2 coating stuff is very, very hard. I started off 2 coating, but I really rather would have 3 coats. Vacuum sanders, it's not really dustless, but you can get a shop vac and just get the special fine filter for the shop vac. As I was saying it, I was trying to go against it so I could see if I could hear like a speed bump. It sounded really good. Skim it with some +3. You can actually check it, but that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Always extend past your patch, a couple inches. And as you lay your mud, lay it flat as you go. Grab some, move it around. And when you use your knife, get used to grabbing some and hitting the edge. Grab some, hit the edge. Now I'm gonna try to save my outside edge for last. and then go back the other way to push the blowholes down. Go one direction, and then back the same direction. And it helps fill those blowholes. I'm trying to wipe all that mud off. Grab some, put it in the corner, and wipe it tight all the way back around. So a lot of times you can already tell by looking at the patch, if you could see a speed bump, you could almost tell with your eye if it could pass or not. Get a fan on it and try to get it to dry, but you want to make sure and go around your outside edges a little bit flatter of a look. You can turn the furnace up a little bit, get your fans going, and you can grab a hair dryer. Don't use a heat gun. And what you can do is if you see any blowholes, you can have a little mud as you're drying it. All right, so for this step, you want some 120 sandpaper, maybe a sponge. I usually normally don't like these angles. Run this flat along the ceiling, and I'll try to get nice and tight in that corner to create like at least a couple inches of smoothness around the corner. And then I'll use this to do the outside edge where the paint meets with the patch. I don't like using sponges too much because sometimes what it does is it takes the mud away and it doesn't really give you a nice flat surface as well as the hand sand does. All right, so what you're gonna need for the last step is a wet rag and your 6 knife. And what I'm gonna try to do is clean off the wall to actually make it look hopefully like we weren't even here. So just put it on the wall first. So first get it wet and soak it. We're trying to clean it off. But double check yourself. Sometimes even turn off the light to see what the shadows might do. Yeah, everything looks wonderful. You can take this easy concept with everything. The theory is the first coat, you should always have all-purpose in the first coat. So if you notice, I taped it with all-purpose, I coated the tape with all-purpose, and then I loaded it up with +3. So I could still get the bond from the glue in the mud over the tape. Thanks for watching. Good luck on your project.